Okay, I want to talk about one of the biggest, actually the biggest discovery of all humankind is happening right now, and I don't think anybody is talking about it. I don't know why, so I want to talk about it in this video. It is bigger than the Industrial Revolution. It is bigger than the advent of the internet. It is bigger than Amazon. It is bigger than Apple. It's bigger than the iPhone, Google, social media. It is bigger than AI, and it's happening right now. Nobody's talking about it, and it is, in actuality, the fountain of youth has been discovered, and I want to talk about it. So, in 2016, a researcher, last name Yamanaka, I can't remember his first name, I believe it was 2016, discovered these proteins that essentially reverse the damage of DNA. And so I want to talk about a little bit of biochemistry for a second so you can understand exactly what's going on, and it's going to blow your mind how this is all put together. So basically, right, in every single one of our cells we have a copy of our DNA, and part of that DNA then codes for certain proteins in each cell. So like the eyeball cell codes for different proteins than the skin cells, then codes for different proteins in the hair follicle cells, all that stuff. So, but during when we live, right, we encounter lots of damage to our DNA, and so the DNA gets changed over time. It gets damaged, but we also, our bodies are pretty good at repairing that DNA. It's a whole big process and stuff. But of course, like when you repair something, if something gets damaged over and over, and when you repair it, it's not quite the same as it was before. And that's essentially what's happening when we're aging. So over time, my hair follicle cells, right, turn into gray hair instead of brown hair. And that's because of this aging process, which is damaged DNA over and over, and then repaired DNA, but repaired DNA back to not quite the same as it was when I was 10 years old, right? And so what happened is Yamanaka and his colleagues discovered these 4 proteins that if you essentially saturate the cell with these proteins, they will reverse the cell from a regular eyeball cell and essentially the DNA back into a stem cell, which is a cell that can take any cell format. And so that was the big discovery, and they won a Nobel Prize for that. But what's happening right now is there are some researchers that are sort of using these 4 proteins, and they're giving various amounts of the proteins to the cells and the DNA. And instead of the DNA essentially turning back to completely like zero, right? Like totally normal, it is reversing the damage of the DNA, taking it back in almost years, because we sort of measure our damage in DNA sort of in years, right? Because we measure aging in years, and that's sort of what aging is. This one of the discoveries is that aging is essentially just damage to the DNA. And so what these researchers are doing are taking various amounts and exposing the DNA to various amounts of these proteins, these Yamanaka factors, and then turning back that DNA to a certain age, right? And so this has been done in mice, and this has been done in monkeys, probably chimps, I'm not sure. And they've actually showed like wrinkling of the skin of monkeys disappearing because of these Yamanaka factors turning back the clock essentially on the DNA in each cell. Now, I don't know why everyone is not talking about this, because this is happening right now. And in fact, there are some researchers either started or starting human trials this year. So if You have been alive for the last 40 years. You have seen some wild shit happen, and it's about to get more wild. Can you believe it? I don't know. I just think that is unbelievable. If you're 20, you're probably not going to have to get gray hair. How crazy is that? How awesome is that?